Welcome. In this video, we were going to discuss noise conditioning in diffusion models. So far, it has been seen like is a critical component, is a must-have component in diffusion models. But here, those researchers, they ask this question. They step back a bit and they wonder, is noise conditioning really necessary for denoising generative models? So here we have a simple illustration. That explains what they mean. So figure 1a with a standard diffusion model that takes as input some noise, some time step t, and then does the denoising for that input z. So basically t indicates the noise level to the neural network. Basically by giving the time step, we indicate to the neural network the noise level, and then we help it to do the denoising. On here, figure 1b, we have the architecture that they try, so the noise unconditioning. They do not feed to the neural network some hints on the noise level. So basically that's what they mean by noise conditioning. It's just giving t as input to the neural network. Where these questions come from, it's basically from an observation that for a blind denoising, so let's move away from diffusion model. But when you do image or denoising or image restoration, so basically image reconstruction, you have corrupted data on the amount of corruption can depend from one image to another one. So basically in those tasks that are feasible, that with neural network that solve those tasks, in those tasks the neural network has no information on the amount of noise, on the amount of corruption in the data. On the neural network should infer that from the input. So basically here they wonder if we can do the same in a diffusion model, if the neural network can infer itself the noise level without receiving t as input. We're going to, I'm not going to go through the conclusion now, we're going to go back to that later. They will also propose a new alternative to the EDM framework. They will call that EDM. So basically, it's a model without noise conditioning. We're going to discuss that later. So maybe we can have a look at this analysis. It's a theoretical analysis, and then we can have a look at the empirical findings. Basically, I will not dive into the theoretical development, but I invite you to have a read at this paper. But basically, the conclusion is that the training noise schedule, so that they call parameterized by kappa on eta. Basically, the conclusion is that there is an error bound between the noise conditioning and the noise unconditioning, and this error bound is a function of the training noise schedule. Basically, this error can, or the behavior can be very different based on those noise level, on those scheduling. Based on that, we can reduce the error. But they also say that when we say that, when we create this error bound, we assume that the noise conditioning is better, and then we have an error bound if we don't do noise conditioning. But there is no reason to assume that noise conditioning is better, right? There is not oracle given by God that tell us which model is better. We should, it's a choice which one we use, and we'll see that. We'll see which one is best later. As we said, they are also designing a diffusion model specifically tailored for noise unconditioning. They call that UEDM. And it's built on top of EDM. So let's have a look at the experiments. So they compare, or they do it on different diffusion models. So they do diffusion with different samplers, including EDM, DDIM. They also try flow-based models, such as Rectified Flow, powering stable diffusion tree, and also consistency models. So maybe we can have a look at the table on the next page. So basically, the yellow, so you can see all the different models with and without noise conditioning. So the this column on this one, with and without. So we have in yellow, first we can see for the yellow rows that noise conditioning is not an enabling factor for most denoising-based diffusion models. So what does that mean? That means that without it, they still work okay. There is a loss of performance. It's a small but decent degradation that they say. For example, here we can see FID going from 2 to 3, okay, sometimes it's small, but sometimes it's a bit more decent, as they say. But it's okay. So basically, noise conditioning is not an enabling factor. It's not critical components. These are most of the rows. You have some rows in green, where surprisingly, not using the noise conditioning gives better results. And these are for flow matching models, flow-based models. And basically for flow-based model, if you are aware of those models, if not, I've made different videos about them, including implementation from scratch. So I would invite you to have a look at those videos. I will put the link in the description. For those models, the objective, the target during training is independent on the noise conditioning, on the noise level, as opposed, for example, to diffusion. So they say that's just one of the hypotheses, that the fact that the noise conditioning is not needed, and that results even get better without it, is maybe due to that. And then you have results in red, where results gets much worse without noise conditioning. It's mainly for DDIM. Here you have a huge drop in performance. I don't think they mention anything. Okay, they don't mention any hypothesis on why. And also consistency model, they don't lose much they perform gracefully without noise conditioning. The loss in quality is not so large. Can we see the... Okay, here we also see the UEDM model. So it's not performing as well as the EDM model, but it's quite close. So you have a 2.04 FID versus 2.23. So it's quite close, the new formulation of EDM without noise conditioning. Okay, so I would say that's it for this paper. So the big summary, the big takeaway, it's not really a technical paper with a lot of architectural development or new development, but it's a very interesting paper, stepping back on challenging the status quo. So basically they highlight that noise conditioning is often helpful for improving quality, but it is not essential. You can skip it. For example, I don't know if you design a new architecture on that it's difficult to add some noise conditioning because maybe you already have different conditioning on other modalities. I don't know, it could happen. Okay, they say that it's helpful. We've seen that it's not always the case. Some models are better without it, but usually it's helpful. It improves the FID a bit, but it's not a fundamental component, a critical component. I really hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe, on comment, even a very simple comment, just thank you. It's really helpful with the algorithm. Thank you very much.